Hi, good morning, folks. Today I'll be talking about manufacturing. Manufacturing companies can have different types of scenarios, and very likely they might have different types of software, different types of applications to manage different types of business process. So it's okay, that's fine. The thing is that ETL engineers, the engineers in manufacturing sector, probably as we are targeting for a CSV file, could see if we could combine the CSV files together. Very likely possible, maybe it's not possible because I'm not very sure about what the source systems are generating when it comes to a CSV file. But having said that, if your goal is to combine the CSV file to run this particular process, that could be a solution to the problem. Or you could probably keep it separate. So, for example, in my case, when I'm looking into the CSV files, it seems to me, let me see, it's here. It seems to me that I'm getting CSV file from a few different places to address different types of issues on manufacturing. One of it is labor productivity. The other one would be the machine downtime. The third one would be production yield. The fourth one could be waste, scrap waste, and the fifth one would be supplier procurement. So it again depends on the executives as to what is your priority, where you need to focus, where you think the problems are. I cannot make that call for you, but no matter what, whichever area is your priority, you probably have to work on that because you as a manufacturing company would know what are the bottlenecks, where do you think the cost might be slipping out. Well, you will make that judgment. But in this case, in our case, we'll be probably taking machine downtime. Okay, I think that could be a case to look at for this particular demo. But having said that, if you have ETL engineers around, let them take a look at all the file source systems which each of these source systems are generating, and if they can come up with a scenario where they are combining all of them or at least two of them or three of them, whatever it is, it will make sense. But having said that, sometimes it may not also. So sometimes you don't want to get into a complicated situation where the data does not make sense to you. But here I'll be talking about people in your organization who does these things all the time, especially people who are into Power BI or anything of that sort. Maybe you can generate uh, a dimensional model. Means you can have one fact tables with two or three or four dimension tables around it so that you know that what it means. Typical example could be plant 001, plant 002. You may have another dimension table associated to that fact table where it says that plant 001 is New Jersey plant, plant 002 is Washington DC plant. So that when you are reading the data, it makes sense to you. So I leave those part of decision making purely to the engineers who will be helping you with ETL processes, extracting the CSV file. We cannot manufacture data for you. Okay, like the way I say that plant 001 could be New Jersey, machine learning will not know that. So for machine learning to be correct, you have to provide that data in such a way that it makes sense for the machine learning to capture the correct set of data and which makes a meaningful answer. Say, for example, if your report says plan 001 and you send that PDF to somebody, nobody will know what is plan 001, right? So you have to make sure that the CSV file which you are providing makes sense. Number one. Number two, is, as I say, that these are, you are running these CSV files for the end of the month, right? Or before the month. But remember in the last, probably I think in the trucking session, I was talking about, say, when you're asking for a report and you see that there are 5 problems or 10 problems, let's say there are 10 problems in that report, slippages, and you have decided that you have taken a PDF of it, you circulated within your colleagues, you guys met in a meeting, and you know that okay, out of all the 10, the first first lot will be the first 3 reports which will be tackled, or first 3 slippages, right? So, and I also mentioned that those reports will be valid for a month. The system, the app will track the same report number which will be provided to you, and it will be valid for a month. So, and the obvious reason is obviously data keep changing, so you don't want to report on something when the data keeps changing. So that's why it has been very carefully designed to put it as 1 month. If after 1 month it expires. So now your ETL engineers, once they have a full-fledged automated CSV file which gets populated, don't make any changes, because if you make a change and you again repoint it to that data, the AI here will not work for you because it knows what data you have pointed for the initial findings of your CSV, I mean leakages. So it keeps that in memory, and if you tend to change the data, even a name or a one extra record or whatever it is, it will know that it's not matching and it will give you a red flag. So keep that in mind because your file has to be same. So if you have to have another CSV file for that matter, you rename that CSV file, or not rename, I mean you rename that and keep it a little separately so that you can distinguish the two. So these are the tips of CSV file, but I'll continue going forward with an assumption that we have uh, few CSV files, but we are focusing on machine downtime. Okay, so that is one thing which we'll be working on. But I hope I made my point very clear. If you still have issues and questions, feel free to get in touch with me. But make a note of whatever I'm talking. Because I'm talking spontaneously, right? I have years of experience, so I don't have to read through notes and all. But I'm just telling you that when you work on CSV file, there are certain thumb rules you need to follow, and make a note of those thumb rules which I have spoken about in all different videos, and then you start following it carefully. You will get a very good idea about what I'm talking. So, having said that, although I told that we could have combined, but I'm not very sure, I don't want to spend my time combining the CSV files. We are looking into machine downtime, which is coming in from, say, a source system, whatever. Okay, I'm not very sure about the what downtimes the system will. I'm sorry, the which system will generate that. But whatever it is, you must be having a system, a software which is generating this file, and you that is the machine, that is the data we are referring to. So, having said that, let's look into this data. I think I can open it up. Yeah, I don't have a problem here. That's not a very long file. It's very easy. And it seems like we're looking into event date, plant ID, machine ID, production line. So you see, the dimension tables could basically make this more meaningful. Machine ID, if I talk about a machine ID, you and I will not know it. Okay, so the users who are using this report to fix the problems will have to have a user-friendly name, much more user-friendly name. Typically, those type of names are kept in the dimension table. So there are two ways to look at it. You can, in my case, I could probably say that I will probably use Python to join these two tables. Many people use Power BI, many people might use Tableau. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. But So far, it's meaningful. That's very important for the architects to come up with, because it is not something which I can help you to with, because I work on CSV file which you give it to me. I cannot be working on creativity on the CSV file, right? So it is your ETL engineers who would be knowing better, that where the dimension tables, or whether you should match them, marry them here in this particular table, so that when I'm looking into machine ID, I really know which machine you're talking about. Anybody in my organization would know. If you're talking about production line, I already know what production line you're referring to. And if there's a problem, anybody in my organization who are into production floor would know which one you're referring to. Okay. So these are the type of dimensions which you might have to get it a little bit more user friendly, but this gives you a very, very good idea about what I'm talking about. You cannot do much with start downtime, end downtime, downtime minutes, downtime reason. You have a reason for all the downtimes. Maintenance type. You have a reason for maintenance type for that particular report. And these are planned downtime. Some of them could be planned, some could be unplanned. Loss units. What is the potential loss there? Estimated loss. Technician ID. Again, if you want to blow it up with the name and whoever it is, you can do it through your ETL processes, to populate that CSV file, and then you can expand it. Here it is only probably up to Q, right? So it's not too many, but if you want, you can expand it. And I'll leave that to you as to how enriched you want to make your CSV files. More it gets enriched, more will be the beauty of the machine learning capabilities, because the way it will explain to you then, even a layman like me who does not know anything about your operation will be able to pinpoint where the problems are and how to go and fix it. So that all depends on how user friendly you make it. So this is one thing which I really wanted to stress on. So let's work on this and see how it goes. So the file which we'll be pulling down will be machine downtime. Okay, and this is where in manufacturing. Okay. So having said that, so let's go and build what do you call self-service capability here. So it is truly self-service. As I said, that a lot of people might get scared about machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all those things. It's not. A small boy can also do it if they know exactly what to do. So I don't want anybody to feel that, oh, we don't know machine learning, we have to train, we have to know. The way I designed it, the whole architecture of it is very simple. Just use it. It's self-service, right? So you don't have to know what's going behind the scene and how it's happening and so on and so forth. So I made sure that I could make it to that point so that every user using this particular app finds it extremely easy to use it. So that was my first priority when I was building this up. So anyway, now let's go to the scan, which you have already seen in other videos, which I am doing all the time. It comes to the same place. I call it as Universal Data Intelligence Scanner, and the package is based on that. I can take this email. This is something which is common again and again. And once I do that, I'll have to put in the pin, which I only know it. And once I put in the pin, I unlock it. So you'll notice that all the steps I'm doing in all the videos for here, it's always the same. So the point I'm making for the executives saying that, hey, this is scary, I don't know what is machine learning and all, it's not that. Because the way it has been designed, there is nothing you are doing from a point of view that I don't know machine learning. Even a small boy can do this, right? So you have the CSV file, and as I said, we already discussed what is the CSV file we would need to bring in. So you go to desktop and you can go to manufacturing, I think. Where is that? Oh yeah, there it is. So you go to manufacturing. How come I don't see it here? One second. I should be seeing that. 1 minute. Okay. So I can pull it from here. So you can store it wherever you want to. But as I say that everything is happening in your local machine. So if I have put it into a wrong folder, it's okay. You just drag that CSV file and bring it here. And there you go. The moment you drag it and bring it, so that means it is coming from your own local machine. It is instantly giving you the issues it found from that particular CSV. So my point to executives here is I'm not going one step outside the machine. A lot of people think, oh, my data privacy. There's no privacy here. You're working on your own machine. So now I've got three of those. So again, the same thing. It goes back to the previous presentations. You can select or unselect. So in this case, today we'll be selecting only labor cost overrun. It looks like it has got a red thing, but very importantly, when you're running this, trying to get the report number, as I have discussed earlier, you need to get a report number if you know that you don't want to do it right now. Sometimes you will get into a situation where you might need to talk to your boss because money is involved for each of this. You need to get permission. You need to sit in a meeting with your team members to find out that which is the best one to look for. Or if you don't care, everything is okay, then you just select all of those and run the report right now. You don't need to even look into a report number. Report number will be very handy when you come back because you don't start on the same place, right? I was telling you that when you're looking into the report number, I think it is somewhere here. Hold on, let me see where is the report number. Just 1 minute. Maybe here. Yeah. When you're coming into the report number, this is where you continue. That means you don't scan it again. The machine will keep the memory of the CSV file which you already scanned. It knows which one is that file. Don't change it. I repeat it. Please don't change it because if you change it, then I'll add up two more columns and two more rows. The machine will give you an error. So you might redo the whole. You might have to redo the whole thing. I'm telling you right now. Do not play around with that CSV file. Whatever you have decided, use that CSV file. So when you then go to report continuation, basically might be it will ask you for the the report number here. But when you're keeping that report number, you have to make sure that you are using the same report number because the memory of, of this machine is recognizing who you are based on the report number. Okay, so it is very important. So please do that. And I could have stick one report number, but that is to do with retail, which I was showing. So I'm not showing it to you here again, but make sure you have the report number correct. So this is actually the area which I was referring to. So when you're scanning and you plan to scan all the things and run it in one shot, you pay for all the ones which you're scanning at $49 for now and go through with it, go through the gateway and get the report. If you are in a situation where you have to scan the thing, you know that okay, there are so many issues on your CSV file. It could be 5 issues, 10 issues, 20 issues, depending on how good is your operation. So whatever those are, you come back. If you have to come back later on, then don't come here. You use that report number and go forward and continue the process. So assuming that I was here, this is the report number I put in the what do you call the slippages, and I have decided out of the three I'll work on only for one. You can download the slippages also. I think I didn't show it to you. You can download all the slippages here. I will show you if it comes. Yeah, there you go. You have all the slippages downloaded. It tells you about the date. As I said, it is referring to our app. The download is referring to those three of those, and this is the report number you are referring to. This is exactly what I'm looking for, or I'm asking you to make a note of it. You will not see it unless you download in the CSV file, but this is exactly what it is. Okay, so you take a look of that report number and basically run your report. So I don't think I have to repeat this again. Whenever you come back after a week or so, but you will get it only valid for a month. If you go beyond a month, I don't know, it will probably give you an error. Okay, so this is meant for to be used within the month. So within 30 days, right? It's clearly written also there. So you use that same report number and come back. So assuming that you're running this one, user ID and redeem page per day items and whatever those. So you take a look at it and then you generate the report. You have already paid. In my case, I can run all of them. But in your case, if you have paid, it will tell you you have already paid. So pick up the paid one and you run it. So when you run it, it will look into the data set and it will create a labor cost overrun report for you. So anybody not knowing AI or machine learning, do you think it will be difficult to run something like this? Anybody can run. Anyone. Okay, so this is the point I'm trying to make, that although, and I think you have to appreciate that I made it look so simple. It is simple now. Now you're not doing with any training, anything. Nothing is going behind it, or even if it does, you don't get to see it or feel it. Everything is done by the machine at the back end. So let's focus on this CSV file now. It is, as I said, it remember it at the moment it looked into the data set, it figured out that it's manufacturing. So the detected industry is manufacturing, which we are reading out. The dataset contains explicit columns relating to production, plant, machine, downtime, loss unit, which are all characteristics of machine learning environment, of a manufacturing environment. So you can always see that WGS analysis for your machine manufacturing downtime data suggests significant financial exposure due to operational intelligence. Okay, so operation inefficiency. So you read through this, you will get an idea about what is the executive summary. Recommended next step is to validate these findings against your internal financial records and general ledger, and prioritize actions based on the highest estimate financial impact and feasibility. So consider integrating additional data such as overtime hours and cost for more comprehensive view of the labor cost overruns. So what it means is, I think it is trying to tell you that you can probably look into additional files, but this is the recommended next. It's not going to do it here. So in your next step, if I'm not wrong, it is asking you to consider integrating additional data such as overtime hours. So if you have a system, a source system, which is telling you about overtime hours, which every company, manufacturing plants will have their own systems, which is tracking uh, overtime hours, right? Nowadays, to my knowledge, I think there is something called Workday, but I haven't used it. But it seems Workday is also to do with labor hours. So anyway, take a look at that, and then once you look into that, as you know that we have done only one of it, so you can take a look at the overtime run hours due to unoptimized shift schedule and overtime. So what it is happening is, um, cannot quantify no overtime hours on the column. Oh yeah, because of the reason that it does not know exactly the overtime hours and all those type of things. So it is giving a very high level overview. But if you want, it's also telling you that you can consider adding more data sets later on. So this is an exercise which you will know from your source system. If your source system is not giving you enough columns, then you have to probably talk to your vendor and tell them that I want these columns. But if it is already giving you these columns, then you keep it ready for your next CSV scan to make sure that those are all included in that CSV the way it should be structured on a CSV file. So having said that, I think that that should be good enough. So read this out. The signal is inefficient shift allocations. That is the main problem. Suboptimal shift scheduling, insufficient stuffing, frequent unplanned events, and all. So you know better, right? I mean, I will not be able to tell you as to what are the problems you might be facing on your data set for when it comes to labor hours. But the recommendation is integrate overtime hours and overtime cost columns into the data set. So this is something which was missing, and it is asking you to do that. So it is using its own intelligence to tell you. So you don't have to hire people. Very important point. You don't have to hire a business analyst or a procedure analyst who will look into all the issues which is missing. You can use WGS intelligence to figure out what the recommendations are. It's very important. So sometimes with the help of machine learning capabilities, you don't have to hire people. So how much time did it take me to make prepare this recommendation? Maybe few seconds, right? But if you would have hired somebody, can you imagine how much time you would have spent just to figure out what he should be doing? So I don't want to get into that, but I think you can understand the level of efficiency we are getting into. The direction it's saying is validate with the general ledger, because you're talking, if you are talking about numbers, you have to make sure that your general ledger is also saying the same thing, maybe at a total level, but you can probably validate that from your general ledger. But recommendations, likely cause of it, it's all coming from AI intelligence. You are not hiring anybody. This is a very, very important point which I am trying to highlight for the executives. Now we get into the methodology, the same format. The report provides a risk sizing estimate, as you all know that we are making an estimate on that. Visual intelligence is there as to what are the type of intelligence in this type of severity you are looking at. Remember, we just selected only one of those, leak risk score, that is also there. Then you have non-numeric columns and also. So take a look. As I said, there is no reason for anybody to get scared with machine learning capability, especially with WGS intelligence, which I have built for you. Because when I was doing this, I used my 20 years of experience of data analysis. You can tell from the way I don't prepare anything, I'm just talking spontaneously, right? So I know exactly what the pain points are, where the pain points can be solved, and how a machine learning can solve that problem for you. So this is one thing which I wanted to show. And then obviously you have these guys, KPIs, which you need to fix and look into it. And if you want, I mean, if you are decided that, okay, you will go for all of those, get in touch with me. If there are a lot of KPIs, maybe we can probably have a separate package for you. Like say your company name is A, and the package, if you decide to add all these, you agree on the agreements, maybe we can work on that. As I said, that certain types of development cost could be $150 an hour, but maybe it is worth it, right? So, because you will not be needing any more human beings later on. So, initial cost will be high because it might take some time, but going forward, it will be very low. But I'll give you some good examples of some of the work which I have done. Take a look at it. I think since I'm doing the demo, it will give you a very good idea. So let me go to, no, not here. No, not here too. You might have to go back to some of the stuff I worked earlier with data insights. I'll give you some examples of manufacturing since we are talking about manufacturing. This is a full-fledged package, full set, okay, more or less. So it's expensive. This is expensive. Don't even ask me how much it is. If you really want to know about it, maybe I can give it to you. How long it will take, I'll probably give it to you also. But this is what you can get to detect the production losses and cost leakages before they hit the P&L, right? So this is your dashboard. It's very interactive. You can take a look at it. You're looking into different components of your data set. So this is something which you are looking into in terms of what has happened, how it has happened. Remember, our current report, which I'm showing, is very much in the line aligned with all these things. Where are the problems, and how do we handle the problems, right? So this is something which you are looking at. Inventory imbalance is probably the next one. You can go from here also and there also. It's an interactive dashboard. So look into this interactive imbalance and future overstock. So these type of possibilities can be there, but we have to talk a lot more. Okay, so this is what I have developed or designed for a manufacturing industry. But as said, that right now these are very expensive turnaround. I think that's why KPMG is probably charging more than 200,000 on that, and I don't blame them because this takes a lot of effort. So having said that, I am just trying to show you what is possible and how you can work on it. So right now you can see that the second dashboard which I'm trying to show you is CEO, CFO, and COO type of stuff. So CEO and CFOs and COO, they don't look at the same thing. They don't. Usually they don't. But if you come across a request, yes, I did come across a request where the executives are looking into different types of data set. Not the data set, they're looking into the same thing, but the information they're getting is slightly different. And they have a security layer sitting on top of it with their user ID and password and all those type of things. So and that was quite some time back, which was bit. So you can take a look at it. Again, here was the problem with plant A. Remember I was talking about you have to make your data set more friendly. Right now, this doesn't tell you anything. Which plant, right? This bottleneck happening on this particular uh, bottleneck happening in particular line conveyor or whatever it is, it doesn't give you the detail. But what I'm trying to tell you is this is what the problems could be if you don't blow up your CSV files sufficient enough to figure out what those are. But this is something which I just wanted to show it to you. But right now we are not doing this, but it can be possible. So as soon as you look into a problem, which plant is underperforming this month, you can expand it from here itself on the dashboard, and you can get an answer about issues found. Plant A is the worst performer with an OEE of 86.5%. A mitigation strategy, it is using its own intelligence to figure out immediate deployment or rapid improvement team to conduct root cause analysis. The point which I was trying to make is that you don't have to get a production expert as a new hiring team. You rather spend some money here and get it done. Get in touch with me and see if we can do it because these things are not easy. It takes a lot of time, and you'll see if the bandwidth is there. The resolution path is it's also looking into install real-time OEE dashboard, establish weekly performance review with plant managers, and create incentive programs tied to improvement targets. So this is what it is saying, right? So this is the way you present it. You can have different types of scenarios. These are critical. So sometimes it might happen, might make sense that you're handling all the critical ones here. So the same is what I'm trying to explain also in this particular demo with the CSV files. But here I wanted to show that you can have lot better deep dives into your dashboard, but you have to be willing to pay. Okay, these are not easy outputs, but you have to be willing to pay. But anyway, possibilities are there. But this is again another one which is very simple. You can take a look at it. It's just looking into certain time series information and basically reporting from there. So there are a lot of flavors which I have worked on. So I think you'll probably get a very good idea about how machine learning can help you now going forward. Machine learning is just now. Right now we are in 2026, right? Probably last 1 year, 2 year, maybe maximum 2 years. Everybody is talking about machine learning. Half of the world doesn't know what is machine learning, but that's what it is. So this is a new concept. Um, we use very sophisticated tools uh, for our LLM models and all those type of stuff. So anyway, I will not get into that because it doesn't make sense for me to talk about what is it. But that's what it is. Okay, so coming back to this, we will get back to the report as to what we saw from that manufacturing stuff, and then you distribute it, decide within your colleagues, and then select which of the ones you would like to probably go for it, and then you can take a look at it. Okay, so I hope I explained very clearly that what can be done, how it can be done, and how you can probably also improve things. But improvement will sometimes will take time. Sometimes some of the requests could be very complicated. It may look very simple, but it could be very complicated. So if you're willing to spend, talk to me. But if you're willing to keep it at $49 type of thing, then what I showed you is probably the best bet, right? You just focus on what you need and just develop around it. So I hope I explained enough, and it's already 35-40 minutes here right now. So I'll conclude it, but if you need my help, you know where to reach me. You go to the web page, the contact information, and you get in touch with me from there also. Right. So in case you don't, I'll show it to you here. You go to the contact and you can select the the calendar from here, and you can do a 30-minute session with me, and then probably we can work it out. Some of the people, some of my contacts do ask me that where are you located. We are not located anywhere because I have learned it in a very hard way. You will not get quality engineering. If I have to live in New Jersey and look for AI guys and ML guys in New Jersey itself, forget it. I even go up to Ukraine. I went for specific work to certain different types of countries where I exclusively look for a certain type of skill. So it's not an easy decision for me to keep myself completely virtual because there are two reasons for it. One, I get the right guys. If you see the type of work we have done, you'll know the type of workmanship we have. The second thing is everybody wants a liberty and freedom, right? So I'm okay with people working in India. So far they are able to support me. I have no problem. I had even people working from Ukraine. So, but I pick up the right guys for the right stuff. Okay? Otherwise, I don't proceed because it doesn't make sense for me to keep fixing their problems again and again, knowing that it's not giving me results. So, I hope you understand my situation here. That I'm a small guy, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I bring you quality engineering. You can compare my work with any big guys around. Okay, so I will leave that to you because before you make a decision, of course, you will do some comparison. But look at this type of work I'm giving you, the output, the quality of it. Take a look at that. compare it with KPMG, who is charging you 100,000, 200,000 for that, right? If you go here, these are all coming from searches. And if you look into KPMG and Deloitte, they don't even talk below 50,000. And their max is 250,000, where they will take 4 to 8 weeks of time with 2 or 4 people working on the stuff. So in our case, we also need people, but we don't charge you like this, because this charge is crazy. To me, it's crazy. So that's why I kept the price in such a level. It's not a promise price that this will be a price which will be forever, but I've kept it in such a way that I would appreciate a time coming to me, because I'm not KPMG. Okay, I'm not Deloitte. I'm a small fish, but I have the ability to come up with very quality stuff. But anyway, my charges here versus what I charge versus what they charge, it cannot even be compared. But I will leave it to you. If you feel that you can work with me, and I have no contracts. But if you're asking me to build a package and all those type of things which we spoke about, yes, we will need further details of what you want, for how long you want, because if I have to bring in people to help me out to work it out, I'll have to see the availability, because this is the difference between big company and a small guy. But quality is something which I never compromise. So if I cannot give you a quality, maybe I'll think twice. But if I can give you a quality, then I will probably see when I can start doing that job for you. Okay. So get in touch with me. There's no harm. We can talk more about it. So I hope I made this thing very clear. I think you got a very good idea about what is it all about, how you make the CSV files for manufacturing industry, and how do you compare with a full grown dashboard, which I have shown to you. But those are not so straightforward. Okay, if you have sufficient budget, you talk to me. Otherwise, I don't think I can help you with that. I can help you with these guys, these small things. But the dashboard which you have seen, all of them, all of them, is not so easy. Okay, just to give you an idea, this is a supply chain dashboard. So my point, which I'm trying to make here, is the development effort is a lot. Machine learning capabilities are a lot. So I don't want to get there and waste my time knowing that you will not be able to pay, because you need a tremendous amount of skills, and it has to be compensated accordingly. Otherwise, there's no point moving forward. So anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks a lot.